All right, finally, Michigan, they came within an eyelash of beating the Buckeyes last year, and yet a huge personnel overhaul here. Depending on how you count the numbers, there were some part-time starters, but either 17 or 18 starters gone from last season. So while Michigan clearly got better, I think from year one to year two under Jim Harbaugh, the record wasn't better, and now all of a sudden you have a ton of production to replace.
Clearly got better. He has clearly energized the fan base, and everyone's excited. They have lost 3 of their last 4. That's why they're part of the angry group here.
The angry division. We go back to the angry division.
But it was always going to be 2 steps with Michigan. Step 1 was you should beat the teams that you have better players than. They weren't doing that when Brady was there. Jim did that immediately. Step 2 was much harder. Can I catch Ohio State? Can I catch Michigan State? Now I've got Penn State coming back as defending champions. So I think now is when we're going to find out, you know, what Jim can do with this program. You just said how many players they've lost. His scheme is now on tape. So now as people study him in the offseason, they know about all the crazy formations. They know about inserting the backs to create more gaps for the defense to cover. They know what Don Brown's all about. So this gets tougher for Michigan. It doesn't get easier. And if you look at what James has done at Penn State, he's won the conference in his 3rd year. You look at Urban, did he win the national championship in his 2nd year or 3rd year? You know, Jim is going into his 3rd year now. You know, a lot of the really good players, Jabril, Butt, they were recruited by Brady. And so, again, this isn't, as you say, linear, or as I say incorrectly, an equation, mathematical equation. You know, next year could be a step back.
Right.
I mean, the other people are coaching and recruiting, and I don't know that fan bases understand that.
I think they understand it. I mean, I think everyone intellectually understands that everyone else is moving while you're moving, but I think there's just a tendency among fans, whether it's Michigan fans or whether it's Minnesota fans or whoever it is, you see it through your lens. And that's the lens you're focused on. That's the team that you know far and away the most about, although I would argue that in this situation, Ohio State fans know an awful lot about Michigan, and Michigan fans know an awful lot about Ohio State, and they're all starting to learn an awful lot about Penn State as well.
But is the bar that Jim Harbaugh is trying to reach what James Franklin has done or what Urban has done? Because that's going to be tough to do in his 3rd year.
Well, I mean, I think people would argue that with Michigan's resources that you ought to be able to do what James Franklin did. Now, I mean, Urban's done a few different things. One of them is win a national championship. Right. If your expectation is winning a national championship after losing 17 or 18 starters, that's hard to do. Okay. It could be done.
Yeah, it could be done. I'm just saying that's the state of the program. They're energized. I just don't know how good they are yet.
Yeah. Would you give a pass to a certain extent to this year if there was another year where you win 10 games, let's say?
I don't need to give him a pass. He's the right guy for this job. I mean, I think ultimately...
Right. Giving a pass is
I think he has been perfect for them. I'm just saying he's lost 3 out of the last 4. He's angry. He's got high expectations.